Today I want to share one of my favorite quotes when I read it and how it impacted me and how I kind of worked through it because I felt it was very shocking and made you really think. So the quote is by Esther Perel, who is a licensed marriage and family therapist, and she says, most people are going to have 2 or 3 committed relationships in their adult life. Some of us will have them with the same person. When I first read this quote and saw it, my mouth literally dropped. I didn't like it at first because it's touchy. This idea that we are all going to have multiple relationships or multiple marriages in our lives. Some of us, it will be with the same person, and others of us, it will be with someone different. When I started to think about this and let it sink in for myself, I realized that there's a lot of truth to it. I thought about my relationship with my husband and thinking about how our relationship and how us as individuals and our relationship has changed and evolved over time. We met back in 2013, and I was beginning my graduate school journey to become a licensed therapist. He was in year 2 of his business, and we were in our young 20s. We were independent and single, and life felt big and large. Still does today, but it was all new and exciting. I had just moved to Seattle from Indiana, so a country girl moving to a big city. He had just left corporate world and decided I'm going to pave my own path with a business. And we were different people then, and we fell in love with each other then. And then I think about 4 years later, I am ending my graduate degree journey. I'm graduating. We are getting married the next day after my graduation ceremony because, side note, I'm a little wild and crazy with my planning. And we are different people. I've spent at this time 4 years pursuing my degree, and I've learned a lot. I've done a lot of unraveling about who I am and what my life story had been. He was a few more years into his business. We had bought a home. We were living together. We weren't partying as much. We weren't drinking as much. We were having to deal with the realities of life. We were paying bills and budgeting and buying. For me, I bought my first car that I ever bought myself. We were at another level and stage in our life, and we'd done 4 years of life together, and who we were from the beginning till then had changed. And so I think back of you weren't the person I originally fell in love with. You are a new person that I'm still falling in love with. And then I think back, or I think to today and who we are. We are now parents to an almost 2-year-old. We have lived in a pandemic. I have, how many times have I changed my job? I mean, I've been a therapist and a relationship coach this whole time, but I started out working with adolescents, then I worked for a group practice working with gifted individuals, and now I am a couples therapist and a relationship coach. So this is almost 5 years later after we've gotten married, and we are different people, and yet we are still people who are different falling in love with each other. My hope is that would be the story that we would all hold, and I know that's not the reality. I know that there are people who have fallen in love, and then that person they fell in love with, that relationship ended. There are marriages that have started and they didn't continue on. And so for some people, this quote means that they are going to have multiple people they fall in love with, but it may not be the same person. And neither are right or wrong, right? Our paths we are on are our own paths, what we are meant to walk, what we are meant to do in our lives. We may not always understand what they mean or where we're going, but they are our paths. But I want you to hold this quote as you think about relationships, and that reminder that who we are in the beginning to who we are now, you are meant to be different people. You're meant to evolve. You're meant to grow. Now, there is a difference if you're in your relationship and you're looking at the person across from you and saying, I don't know who you are. You need to ask yourself, Am I willing to get curious and learn who you are, who this person is that I'm doing life with? Or are you at a stage where you don't want to do that? You're not willing to do that. So you have to make some hard choices and take some hard actions. But be curious. If the person you are doing life with has changed, what are the beautiful pieces that they have evolved into? What are the pieces that you are still getting to know and learn about? Or have you stopped doing that completely? One thing I notice with the people that I coach and work with is I have to take them back to what we did at the beginning when we were getting to know each other in that dating stage, and remind them that just because you've done so much life together and that you probably really know each other well, it doesn't mean you know everything. And it's important for us to continue to desire to know our partner. The Gottmans call this knowing each other's internal world. They call it the love maps. It is knowing what's your favorite color, what's your favorite flower, who's your favorite relative, what's your favorite memory. And it's continuing to learn what else is becoming your partner's favorite things. What is it that they are growing into, evolving into, changing into? We have to keep dating each other. And for some of us, we get to date our partner over and over and over again. For others of us, we are dating different people. Either way, your path is your path. What I want you to take from this, though, is that reminder of continue to evolve and grow and change for yourself, for your relationship, and invite your partner to learn who that person is. Choose to learn who your partner is. And remember that there's goodness. Just because they are different from who they were when you first met doesn't mean it's necessarily bad. We as humans are meant to evolve and grow and change. And there's a beauty in that. I'm getting to witness that of being a mother right now, of as much as I loved having my little one as a baby where she was so light and I could hold her and all I did was hold her. She is now fierce and doesn't stop moving, and I love watching her evolve and grow physically, mentally, emotionally. And if we can enjoy that process with our kids, I want us to apply that to our relationships too. We are meant to grow. Don't limit each other. Don't stop each other from growing. Encourage, inspire, motivate, and keep inviting to do it together. And that is one way that you can build your relationship stronger. I'm curious your thoughts on this. Leave a comment below. I want to know, when I read that quote, how it hit home to you and what it made you think of and what you think about it. I'll see you next time.